the ministerial
I think we should.
thing.
Yeah. I don't know when.
If it's included, I'm usually good at listening and I won't repeat.
You all feeling better? Yeah.
We're feeling better. We're not feeling good.
Yeah.
Good morning. I'm Drew Valonis, your worship associate for this morning, and the service today will be led by our minister, the Reverend Cindy Terlazzo. Thank you for everyone on this morning's worship team, also including music by Bill Mells. Today's service will be intergenerational, with kids of all ages staying upstairs with us. The Wiggle Zone is open for anyone who needs it. If this is your first visit, welcome. We invite you to sign the visitor's book in the entryway, and whether it's your first visit or your 1000th, we are glad you came. This service is also being live streamed to our YouTube channel. We will plan on continuing with the hybrid services, so you can join us each week here in person, on Zoom, or later on YouTube. To help us connect better with our friends watching from home, please turn around, give a wave to the camera. At the end of the service, we'll invite our friends on Zoom to turn on their cameras and wave back. I have a few announcements to share with you today. To help make the most of our time together, event details can be found on the printed announcements in the back of the room or the weekly email. If you have a joy or sorrow to share, please fill out the card on or near your chair. We invite you to bring them forward and place them in the basket after Bill rings the chimes and begins to play. You can also come forward to drop a pebble in the water if you have a joy or sorrow that you'd prefer not to share. Shopping opens today for the Handmade Holiday Sale. Right over there. Come visit the tables following the service. This Friday, November 21, we will be hosting Justice Table, a community potluck from 6 to 8 p.m. Children are welcome. This month will be Justice Friendsgiving, where we will plan to discuss local Indigenous history and current justice issues, as well as working on ways to help make sure all our neighbors have enough food, like assembling meal kits. Bring a dish to pass and ingredients for the kits as you are able. FLX Beacon, Geneva's Women's Assembly, and PSLFLX have invited us to turn out to protect and celebrate bodily autonomy as part of Our Bodies, Our Choice, a weekend of action and celebration across New York State to urge Governor Hochul to sign 3 bills into law that would help protect bodily autonomy. Join us Saturday, November 22nd at 1 p.m. at the Ontario County Courthouse in Canandaigua. We ask that you bring something that represents bodily autonomy to you. Save the date on Sunday, December 7th, after the service from 11:30 to 3 o'clock, for a new ministry startup program. This is an opportunity for the entire community to gather to review where UUCC has been and to consider how to use this new ministry with Reverend Cindy to envision and work to manifest the hopes and dreams of what we can create together. A meal will be provided and childcare will be provided if needed. Stay tuned for more details. Are there any other announcements for the good of the community? Well, I don't see anybody standing up. As we prepare to be fully together, I remind you to silence your phones and devices. We now enter a space of worship. Now is the time to bring forward any joys or sorrows, or to come up and drop a pebble. I invite you to join with me in our chalice lighting words. We gather this hour as people of faith, joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share.
It's tricky. Different congregations have different ways of being. So our opening words this morning are a bit modified, but they're primarily from Reverend Richard Gilbert. Each morning, we hold out our chalice of being to be filled with the graces of life that abound, air to breathe, food to eat, companions to love, beauty to behold, art to cherish, causes to serve. They come in ritual procession, these gifts of life. Whether we deserve them, we cannot know or say, for they are poured out for us. Our task is to hold steady this chalice of our being. Each morning we hold out the chalice of our being to receive, to carry, to give back. Let us now prepare our hearts. Let us now open ourselves on this day and make ready to receive, to carry, to give back. Let us now worship together. And our opening hymn this morning is hymn number 128 in the gray hymnal, For All That Is Our Life. You're welcome to rise in body and or spirit.
That
We now have a video that's going to start in one moment.
Life is precious because it is in this human form that your senses, your experiences, your emotions and your feelings are all rooted into your own mental awareness. And that's an exceptional gift, that we can not only be someone who thinks theoretically and sort of hope and place our hope on something else or someone else to receive, to get, to obtain happiness or whatever it is. But that ability of making things happen, making happiness happen, making kindness happen, making goodness happen, making this moment really happy and joyful and constructive is a potential that we all have as a human being. You have that potential. You also have an extra advantage of not only having it, but an intelligence that recognizes it. That makes it incredibly the most precious of all existence. Traditionally, I could count the 18 qualities, but all of them come into that one single thing, is that all causes and conditions are there that equips you to be able to be the creator, the director, the painter, the sculptor of a moment. And who enjoys such a moment and freedom and ability than a human being? That's what makes it precious.
So, I'm going to talk about something that I think is really powerful today, and that is imagination, hope, and the preciousness of our lives. But first, I have a question. Have any of you ever hoped for something? And you can raise your hand if you've hoped for something. Did what you hoped for happen? So, I think that hope is kind of like this, and I know it's very small. I don't know if you can see it, but it hangs on trees. It falls down from oak trees, and squirrels often eat them. So does anybody have an idea what this might be? Yeah. So we have an acorn here. And what if an acorn could hope, what do you think an acorn might hope for?
The best tree room.
Yeah, to become some kind of great big tree. Now here's why acorns remind me of hope. If I just dropped this acorn on the floor and walked away, would it have any hope of becoming an oak tree? What do you think? Probably not. I don't think we've cleaned this very well. I don't think there would be enough for it to take root. So what does it need to grow? What would the tree need? What would the acorn need to become an oak tree? Water? Soil? Sun? Maybe a bit of luck so a squirrel doesn't come along and dig it up? And here's why I think that an acorn becoming a majestic oak tree reminds me of how precious our lives are. So there is a tie-in here. We also need certain conditions to grow into our best selves. The fact that we are each here today is already kind of a miracle. Whatever else is going on in your life, the fact that you got up and that you're here is a kind of a miracle. We are the answer to our ancestors' hopes and imaginings. We have so much potential to help create a world that is a good place for everyone. And to me, this is a very precious thing. These lives that can be so easy to take for granted are quite special indeed. Like acorns, our hopes and our very lives need other things to flourish. And first we start, particularly with us, we start with our imaginations. We imagine the things that we're hoping for. So take a moment right now. You can close your eyes, and you don't have to share this with anyone. Imagine something that you are hoping for right now. It can be a little hope, it can be a big hope. So your hopes are like acorns. Your life is like an acorn too. Both need care, attention, help, and even some luck to grow into your full potential. My hope is that each of us remember how precious our lives are, how much potential we have, and may we each grow into the very best versions of who we can be. And part of what helps this congregation grow into the best version of itself that it can be is the generosity that you so graciously share. So at this time, we'll take our offering.
Now is the time in our service to join together in the spiritual practice of generosity. Our gifts of both time and money support our church in its work. Each week, we would like to spotlight a group or committee and thank them for their gift of time. This week, the group is the Social and Environmental Justice Committee. They're doing a lot of work. People interested in finding out more can contact Laura Wink. 1/4 of our plate collection for the darkness season will go to our service partner, The Spot. The Spot provides free food, clothing, school supplies, and personal care items to students in the Canandaigua and Victor school districts. Their work ensures equitable, easy access to basic needs. You can give to this morning's offering by placing cash or a check into the basket, or by one of the options you see on your screen. Please make a note that your gift is intended for today's offering. We now gratefully accept the offering.
We have 2 joys to share this morning. One is for all of our guests and members who come here to learn together, and the other is from Tammy Toman Pendleton. Joy that she has some faith, sorrow that I don't have more faith. And we now have this time to settle into a reflection, prayer, contemplation.
We will now drop a stone for these
So we are
and all the joys and
backwards
sorrows left in the silence of our hearts. Whatever is in your heart today, we are with you.
So if anyone else would like to drop a stone, you can. So now we'll reset. Time to enter into a quiet space within with the words of Paul Lahiro. We give thanks for this day and for these people and all the people who have enriched our lives. We give thanks for the gifts of life with all of its pain and its joy, its struggles and its triumphs. We give thanks for love, which created us, which revivifies us and links us to others in struggle and in joy. We give thanks for eyes to see and ears to hear, the ability to feel, and the imagination to see beyond the obvious. We give thanks for the spirit of creativity that inspires and encourages, that brings novelty in the midst of familiarity and risk in the midst of comfort, that surprises in the midst of commonplace. We give thanks by giving to others in return for all that we have received. We give thanks for this precious human life. And we give thanks in the depths of our souls as we enter into this time of silent contemplation, as we hold all those things that have been shared and all those things that are being held in your heart.
This morning we lift up the voice of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet. The Dalai Lamas are believed by the Tibetan Buddhists to be the manifestations of the Bodhisattva of compassion and the patron saint of Tibet. Bodhisattvas are realized beings, inspired by the wish to attain complete enlightenment, who have vowed to be reborn in the world to help all living beings. He says, every day, think as you wake up. Today, I am fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to use all of my energies to develop myself, to expand my heart out to others, to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. I'm going to have kind thoughts towards others. I'm not going to get angry or think badly about others. I'm going to benefit others as much as I can.
So that's quite a task, but waking up and saying, I am alive, what a gift. So today we have this gift, this blessing of being together in this community again. You know, you brought your busy self, your joyful self, your brokenhearted selves to this place once more. And we do this because we hunger. We hunger for things that we cannot always identify, but we come here hoping to have that hunger filled. William Swing said, there is a hunger beyond food that is expressed in food, and that is why feeding is always a kind of a miracle. It speaks to a bigger desire. And I think that this community knows that really well with the potlucks, the justice table, that feeding one another. Today, as we gather seeking a means to satisfy this deeper hunger, you're invited to take part in a ritual, and today it will be a communion. You know, what is a communion? In its simplest form, a communion is an act of sharing. It's a sharing of maybe intimate thoughts and feelings, those things that may be of a deeper spiritual nature. So take a moment now and think about what that might mean to each of you to commune with another, to share with one another. And I recognize that each of us carry our own unique histories with us, and I recognize that the act of communion may hold a variety of meanings. Some may be difficult, and some may be quite life-sustaining. So today, let us join together to claim the sharing of bread as a sacred act, an act through which we give thanks for the many blessings in our lives. As we break bread together, let us proclaim that all are welcome at this table. So I'm going to invite you to come to the front of the room to join in this sacred act of sharing. If you have allergies, there is a basket that is gluten-free bread, so you're welcome to take that. Please, when we start, come and partake in this ritual of hospitality and welcome. Today and every day, let us be grateful for the ways in which we nourish and uplift each other. Let us be grateful for this gift of this precious human life. If you would like someone to bring this to you, just raise your hand and we can bring an offering to you. To our friends at home, join us in spirit, and the next time you sit at your table, know that the joy of communion and thanksgiving is ever present. So Bill will play some ambient music, and you're invited to come forward. There's also some apple cider. Come forward. I know the act of communion can hold a lot of different feelings. So for me, this is truly an act of sharing. It's an act of seeking to answer that deeper hunger that we have within us. And every day, every single day is an opportunity to give thanks. Clearly, we do not need to wait until the fourth Thursday in November to give thanks about what we are grateful for. But here in the United States, we've come to be acculturated to this time of year that we set aside to do just that. You know, many of us, when we're asked what we're thankful for, we might say our family, our friends, that we have a place to live, that we have food. Maybe some of us are thankful that our favorite football team is doing well this year, you know? But I wonder, how many of us give thanks for the gift of this very precious human life that we have been given? You know, there are over 8 billion humans inhabiting this planet, and with that many people, it may be easy to think that human life is not a rarity at all. And I did just a little research and found that the odds of getting pregnant and carrying a baby to term are about 11% overall. And as a woman ages, that possibility drops even more. Egg quality is diminished over time as a woman is exposed to all kinds of inevitable forces. Once we're born, think about the challenges that still remain. In 2023, the global infant mortality rate was estimated to be 26 deaths per 1,000 births. Beyond that, think about how many of us are killed by war, by guns in general, by natural disasters, by famine. So while there are a lot of us calling this planet home, the likelihood that you and I exist at all is really a kind of a miracle. And this miracle is one that can be easy to overlook. We can see over and over again what the world looks like when humankind engages in such oversight. Our hearts break again and again as we bear witness to the dismissal of such a precious gift. While there are unfortunately so very many places around the world, near and far, where we see this dismissal play out, the ongoing situation in Israel and Gaza is among the most heartbreaking. Because of historic complexities and the abject brutality that has occurred, it's difficult at times to really know how to respond. So what I will offer you right now are some words from an organization called Sacred. It's the Spiritual Alliance of Communities for Reproductive Dignity. These words really touched my heart, and I hope that they'll speak to you as well. So in this declaration, they said, "We want a world where all Israelis and Jews are able to parent the children they have in safe and sustainable communities free from violence, full stop. We want a world where Palestinians of all faiths and people of the Muslim and Arab diaspora are able to parent the children they have in safe and sustainable communities free from violence, full stop. We believe that all people are created in the divine image, and each are deserving of safety and dignity. We grieve with our Palestinian, Israeli, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, Arab, and others directly impacted and connected to the region known as Palestine and Israel. We grieve the impact of systemic oppression that fuels anti-Jewish and anti-Muslim political actions, perpetuates scarcity and seeds conditions where many turn to violence as a means of preserving their own communities. We mourn this ongoing loss of life while knowing that this violence, along with its intergenerational trauma, is rooted in dominance and fear over abundance and mutuality. We grieve the spike in anti-Jewish incidents occurring in the United States and around the world. We denounce anti-Semitism. We denounce Islamophobia wherever these evils appear. We don't have answers for further policy, but we have to approach things from the wisdom that tells us that violence is what has gotten us here and will not move anyone forward in a positive way. We do have great heart for our people and deep care for our beloved community. As we have listened to those directly impacted and held space for them, what has become clear is the need for us to turn toward each other when turning away and doubling down on our own particular interests would be easier. Now is the time to lean into the strength of being a diverse community and to be courageous enough to be with the complexities that this moment calls us to. Let us take a breath. And let us take a moment to hold this prayer of mutuality in our own hearts. Let us pray for strength and courage to be with the complexities that these unfolding moments call us to. So take just a moment to sit in that. Buddhist teachings speak often of the gift of this precious human life, as we saw on the video earlier in the words of the Dalai Lama. They acknowledge that something is precious when it's rare and when it also produces the potential for great benefit. And so it is with these lives that we have been given, these precious human lives. It seems to me that we are simultaneously cavalier and fearful of the life we've been given. On one hand, we can often think, especially when we're young, that we will live forever. On the other hand, I've seen and felt for myself the intense fear of having life slip away far too quickly. We engaged in a ritual of communion, a ritual that invited us to share a moment with one another, a ritual that invites us to consider those deeper hungers we hold, which we seek to satisfy by joining together. I invite you now to take a few moments to deeply consider your own life and how very precious it is. You might have many worries and challenges. Your health may not be what you wish it were. Your financial security may be challenged. You may not feel as connected to others as you would like. All of that could be true. But set aside those worries if you can and think about how fortunate it is that you have woken up today. Think about the potential that you have by virtue of free will to be self-aware, to make choices in each moment. You have the capacity, the potential to be the creator, the sculptor, the painter, the director of each moment, no matter how difficult that may seem at times. Regardless of what is going on in the world, you can choose kindness. You can choose actions to benefit others. You have the potential to awaken to the real meaning of what the essence of life truly is. You have the potential to understand the causes of suffering and to consider how to address suffering, your own as well as others. We're going to take another few moments to sink into the luxuriousness of silence, to consider the gift of your own most precious human life. So again, let your heart open to the gift of this life, no matter what it holds. Friends, may you give thanks for the good fortune to have woken up today. You are alive. You have a precious human life. What will you do today to make sure that you are not wasting it? And again, we'll breathe into all of that. Bill now has a song for reflection.
Oh, come you longing, thirsty souls, drink freely from the spring. Come, you weary, famished folk, and you're hungering. Why spend yourself on empty air? Why not be satisfied? For everywhere a feast is spread, that's always at your side. For as the rain and snow above fall not on vanity, but for this purpose water earth to feed humanity, so shall the word of spirit serve as seed within our loam, that we may bear so rich a yield as brings the harvest home. We shall go in peace secure and leave in joy sublime. The hills outside will burst with song, the trees will clap in time. No more shall thorns and nettles grow, the bay tree and the pine shall sign for us the eternal name that makes the world a shrine.
Our closing words today are by Susan Carlson. We leave blessed by our connections to one another, to the spirit of life. Walk lightly so you can see the life that is below your feet. Spread your arms as if you had wings and could dance through the air. Feel the joy of the breath in your lungs and the fire in your heart. Live to love and be a blessing on this earth. Go forth in peace and return again in love. So today, our closing song is one that we've been referencing all day, but we have never sung before. So, Bill, do you want to take over?
You've heard the words 3 or 4 times, at least part of them, and they're on that little sheet that might be right by your seat, but they will be appearing on the screen momentarily. Every day, think as you wake up. Today, I am fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life, and I'm not going to waste it. I'll play the music, and then I'm going to ask some people like Lola, who's looking at me, to help with some additions. But here's the song. Sings like this. Every day, think as you wake up. Today I'm fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. And I'm not gonna waste it. So keep there, keep
can stand if you like.
So they're gonna go. Oh, and I've got others, if other people want to come join, we're welcome to, but something about like this. You ready? We're at the beginning. It sings like this. Every day, think as you wake up. Today I'm fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. I'm not gonna waste it. Every day, well, think as you wake up. Today I'm fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. I'm not gonna waste it. Every day, think as you wake up.
Today,
I'm fortunate to have woken up. I'm alive. I have a precious human life. And I'm not gonna waste it. Here we go. Every day, think as you wake up. Today I'm fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. I'm not gonna waste it. One more time, you sing it. Every day, think as you wake up. Today I'm fortunate to have woken up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. And I'm not gonna waste it. No, no, no.
amen.
If you're joining us on Zoom, now is the time to turn your camera on if you'd like to wave goodbye. Please join me in our words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of